Excuse me. In just a second, we're going to get started here. All right, good morning, everybody. This is Calvin Butler with the RBBS Logistics Learning Center and the National Dispatchers Network. And this is the Load Board Report coming to you all live here. And the time now is 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we try to make sure that we do the Load Board Report every morning, Monday through Fridays, from somewhere between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. And so this is the Load Board Report, a look at what's going on in your neck of the woods when it comes to freight and load availability. As always, if you are looking for a load, give me a call up at 866-973-6445, extension 0 or extension 1, and let me know where you are, what type of truck and trailer you have, your DOT number or MC number, and the name of your trucking company, and we'll try to find you some freight and some good paying freight this morning. As always, we are sponsored by the RBBS Logistics Learning Center. So let's go ahead and start sharing my screen so we can get started. Okay. As I said before, as always, we are sponsored by the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers. And as you can see here, our freight broker and dispatch vocational school located here in Tallahassee, Florida. You can attend here at the site of our vocational school, which is located here in Tallahassee, Florida. The tuition is $7,500, and that's for 2 weeks of in-depth training. We're going to train you, and you're going to know everything you're going to need to know about dispatching and about being a broker. Also, we have guaranteed career placement at the end of the 2-week training here at our vocational school. You can also train with us online. We have an online training platform, and that is sponsored by the National Dispatchers Network, as you all can see here. I'm going to click over to that, and there you see it. The National Dispatchers Network, which sponsors our training in the convenience of your home. Our online platform will train you to earn 100K plus from home dispatching freight and provide the online network tools, resources, and training to ensure your success. You'll get access to more than 100 load boards, access to more than 140,000 hours of operational training videos, access to more than 19 million direct shippers, access to every registered owner-operator in the United States, access to live training, access to our logistics library, and access to our network of more than 2,967 industry professionals. Our most popular enrollment is just $349.95 plus tax, and a monthly subscription fee of only $39.95 per month plus tax. And as an added bonus, we now accept Afterpay. Okay, pay over 6 weeks, make the first payment up front, and the rest over time, always interest-free when you pay it in full. Look for the Afterpay option at checkout. All right, let's see what we got going on here with our YouTube people who checked in this morning so far. No one has checked in. We have one watching on YouTube. No one has checked in so far. As always, if you are looking for a load, I'm going to go ahead and type this in. Need a load? Call. Put the number in here, 866 973 6445. If you need a load, give us a call at that number, 866-973-6445. That's the number to call if you need a load this morning. Let's go ahead and check in with the load board report and with our direct freight. Let's check in there and see what we got going on with the load count this morning. We're gonna go to our load map. As always, we're using our go-to load board, which is direct freight. We're gonna go to our load map this morning. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on. All right, up in Washington State, we've got 638 loads showing available in Washington. In Oregon, we are showing 478 loads. In California, we're showing 852 loads. In Arizona, we're showing 250 loads. In Nevada, we're showing 142 loads. In Idaho, we're showing 349 loads available in Idaho this morning. In Montana, they have 148 loads. In the great state of Wyoming, we have 82 loads. In Utah, we have 453 loads. Arizona, 250 loads. New Mexico, 151 loads. Colorado, 351 loads. Wyoming, 82 loads again, if I haven't mentioned that before. Up in North Dakota, 96 loads. South Dakota, we're showing 122 loads. In Nebraska, we're showing 187 loads this morning in Nebraska. Kansas has 304 loads. Oklahoma has 162 loads. Texas has 1,600 loads. Louisiana has 443 loads this morning. Arkansas has 709 loads this morning. Oklahoma 162. Kansas 304. Missouri 440, and we have Iowa has 273. In Minnesota, we have 414 loads this morning. In Wisconsin, 518 loads. Jump down here to Illinois, 1,061 loads. There's got quite a few loads there in Illinois this morning. Go over here to Indiana, 802 loads. Kentucky, we're showing 458 loads. Tennessee, 513 loads. Mississippi, we're showing 386 loads. Alabama, we're showing 923 loads this morning. In Florida, there's 646 loads. Georgia, 1,143 loads. Quite a few loads coming out of Georgia this morning. South Carolina, 427 loads. North Carolina, 537 loads this morning. Virginia, we're showing 539 loads. West Virginia, 92 loads. Ohio, we're showing 858 loads this morning. In Michigan, we are showing 487 loads this morning. Let's jump on up here to Maine. We're showing 58 loads. New Hampshire, 21 loads. Vermont is showing 29 loads. Massachusetts, 380 loads this morning. Rhode Island checking in with 26 loads. Connecticut, 85 loads. New Jersey, 489 loads. Delaware, there's 29 loads coming out of Delaware this morning. In Maryland, we're showing 409 loads. New York, 583 loads. PA, Pennsylvania, 921 loads. I think that's about, that we covered everything. So that's what we have showing right now in Alaska, up there in the Super Trucker State. We're showing 6 loads on this load board this morning in Alaska. So there you have it. That's what's going on in your neck of the woods when it comes to freight and load distribution. Now, forgive me, I was running a little bit slow this morning. I got up kind of late, but I'm running a little bit slow. But we're gonna make it through. Make sure we see if we can find some freight out here this morning for some people that need some freight. Remember, if you need a load, you are a dispatcher and you need a load for one of your carriers. If you are a owner-operator this morning and you still need a load, give us a call here at the Load Board Report, 866-973-6445. That's 866-973-6445. Let us know what your what type of truck and trailer you have and where you're located. Also, we're gonna need your DOT number or your MC number, because brokers don't want to begin conversations until they get that DOT number or that MC number this morning. We have 6 watching on YouTube. No one's checked in yet on YouTube. Here again, if you need a load, don't forget to give us a call at I hit the wrong thing there. Don't forget to give us a call at 866-973-6445. We have Mr. James Sears checking in this morning. Good morning, Mr. Sears, checking in with us on YouTube. Remember, if you need a load this morning, give us a call, 866-973-6445. 5. All right, so that's what we got on YouTube. Let's go back over here to our load board, and let's go ahead and click on one of these states and see what we got going on here this morning in some of these states this morning. Let's go up here to Illinois. They got 1,061 loads this morning. Quite a few loads up there in Illinois. Now remember, the load count is not what it's been in the last 3 years. The load count has come back down to what it normally is. You don't have those whole bunch of loads like we were showing before, 10,000 loads in Texas, 6,000 loads in Alabama, 4,000 or 5,000 loads in Florida. The industry now has started to revert back to its normal state. So now what you have now is if you're a dispatcher and you got, carriers up in these areas like North Dakota where there's only 96 loads, Wyoming where there's only 82 loads, places like that, up here in Maine, 58 loads, New Hampshire, 21 loads, even over here in Nebraska, only 187 loads. In Nevada only has 140 loads. Even California has less than 1,000 loads right now. So if you're in these areas where you got these low load counts, what you're gonna have to do is, especially like a big state like California, because California is a very big state, and only 854 loads, that's not a lot of freight coming out of California this morning. So what you got to do is you got to learn to have these conversations with your carrier, and you got to get your carriers to trust you to move them down to areas where freight is more abundant or where freight is running more frequently, and that way it run them to states where the states are close together and they have decent load counts with those joining states, like here, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Those are all right there clustered right together, and they've got decent load counts. Okay, so that's a good place to come and run and make some money. On top of that, you got other neighboring states that are surrounding it that make some ups that would give you decent loads to where you can run consistently and make great money still in this climate of the industry that we're in. Other areas you can come down to: Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida. This little area right here. And I know a lot of y'all don't like going into Florida, but Florida has some great loads if you're willing to stay in Florida for just a little bit. And of course, if you come over here down here to Texas, Texas always has a decent load count, and they're right close to Louisiana. Now, Texas is a big state, but Texas does have more than 1,500 loads this morning. So there's still quite a bit of freight that can run in and out of Texas. And Texas has some neighboring states which are not that far away, which are close by in proximity. They have decent load count: Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Oklahoma. You can run up, run back in. New Mexico, run over there and run back in. Louisiana, run over there and run back in. Run over there and you can run over here to Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. So you got to learn how to move your pieces around, move your carriers around like it's a chessboard. Okay. So now this is where the skill comes in as a dispatcher. If you were just, dispatching, you were doing great because the load count was high. It's easy to make money and to find good freight when the load count is high. When the load count is high and the freight is high and the rates are high, it's easy to be a good dispatcher. But now is where the skill has to come in. This is where the skill has to come in. Now is the time it's going to separate the adults from the children, the professionals from the amateurs. Okay, so this is where the skill set takes over. All right, like I said, but let's go up here in Illinois and see what we got going on. In Illinois this morning, 1,066 loads. Let's go ahead and check in here and see what these loads look like this morning in Illinois. All right, okay, so let's go over here and we're gonna. Right off the bat, we're not seeing very many loads as paying, but in order to correct that, we're going to go ahead and click the instant rate per mile. Remember, we like doing the instant rate per mile versus doing the pay rate, because pay rate is deceiving. Okay, you can have a high pay rate like this right here, $8,500. Right now, this is actually pretty good. But it's going 892 miles. It's going to take you 2 days to run that load. So that's 2 days that you got to spend running that load, and you're going to make $8,500. But what are you going to burn in fuel? Okay, you're going from Decatur, Illinois to Charleston, South Carolina. Okay, now that's mountains, in that area, and you're pulling a lot. That's heavy weight. That's 110,000 pounds. That is not a good load. It's not a good load, because if you're pulling that much weight in this area right here, going up to Charleston, South Carolina, coming from Illinois, going to Charleston, South Carolina, you're going to run into a lot of hills and mountains. Okay, and you got that much weight. That money right there is not a good rate. I'm just being honest with you. That's not a good rate. Okay, that's not a good rate. If you got to go 892 miles to run that with that kind of weight, that's going to take you 4 or 5 days. Plain and simple. You're not going to make that in a 2-day run. You're gonna get maybe 300, at the best 300 miles a day. At the very best, it might even be 250 with that kind of weight. Okay, so but the very best you're gonna get is 300 miles per day. So that's gonna take you at least 4 days, maybe even 5 days. So that's an all-week run for that 8,500, and you're gonna be burning a lot of fuel because you got a lot of weight going up mountains, down mountains. You got to go through your whole braking sequence. Your Jake brakes, your engine brakes, your regular brakes. You got to use all that. So you got to use all that coming down those hills, and you're burning fuel. You're burning fuel because when that RPM goes up, coming down the hill, you're trying to, using your Jake brake, using your tapping your brake. You don't want to hold them because you don't want to burn your brakes up, right? Using your engine brakes, all this type of stuff is burning fuel. You're burning fuel. And then when you're going up that hill, you're going up real slow, taking time, and you're burning more fuel. Why? Because you're at a high throttle trying to get up that hill. You're in a low gear and trying to pull up that hill. You're burning more fuel. So your fuel consumption, you have to look at what your fuel consumption is on loads like that when you take into effect in trying to analyze if that's a good paying load or not. I can tell you right now, that is not a good paying load. But the load like that in that area with that much weight, with fuel being the way it is, you're going to wind up walking away with maybe $3,000. You're going to spend a whole bunch of money on fuel. You're going to spend, it would not surprise me if you spent $2,400 on fuel on that load right there. Okay? You're going to spend $2,400, $2,500, maybe even $3,000 on fuel alone because of the amount of fuel that you're going to be burning just trying to negotiate those hills and negotiated with that type of weight. So that is not a good paying load. So don't let the pay rate fool you. Always go over here and click the estimated rate per mile, and then it's going to give you the short run loads, as you can see here, 19 miles, 18 miles, 20 miles, 23 miles, 16 miles, 32 miles, all these short run loads, and it's going to give you great rates. $31 per mile, $27 per mile, $22 a mile, $22 a mile, $19 a mile, $15 a mile, $15 a mile, $12 a mile, $11 a mile. It's going to give you great rates. And you're not going to burn a whole lot of fuel because you're running short runs, and you got time to run more short runs in the course of a day. So when you can run this one load that takes you all week, and you're going to walk away with maybe $4,000 because you spent so much money in fuel, you can run these short run loads. You can run 3 of them a day. 3 of them a day, they're averaging 600, 490. So they average about $500 a piece. You running 3 of them a day, that's $1,500 to $2,000 a day, 5 days a week. And you're not burning, and you won't even burn $1,000 in fuel. So you see what I'm saying? You gotta know how to evaluate loads. You gotta know how to analyze freight based on what the parameters are, okay? Every load, you have to learn how to look at it, analyze it, and evaluate it based on the parameters of that load. This is where the skill comes in. This is where the skill comes in. Let's check in with our YouTube people here again. See who else we got that's checked in. We only got Mr. James here this morning. Checking in. Now remember, if you need a load, give me a call, 866-973-6445. So we're looking over here in Illinois right now, and I always look for some dedicated stuff. That's what I'm always trying to find, is some dedicated. Here's a load going from Chicago to Bunsenville. Okay, this is a reefer load. Okay, it looks like it might be a dedicated because it picks up on the 14th, not today. It picks up on the 14th, which is, what is that? The day is the 12th, so that means Tuesday, Wednesday. Looks like it picks up on Wednesday, and it picks up again on the 20th. It runs, hold on here, Chicago to Brinsville. Okay. Yeah, it runs on the 14th. I think it's the 14th and the 14th and the 21st. Yeah, there it is. The 14th. There you go, the 14th and the 21st. And then, but there's another one from Naperville that's running to Brinsville that runs on the 15th. Now, all these are short run loads. All these are very, very, very short run loads. If you're looking at freight today, freight is kind of scattered because it's kind of late in the morning. If you're on a load, the best time to look for freight on the load boards is going to be from about 5:30 in the morning until about 7 to 7 a.m. If you wait till after 8 a.m., you got kind of slim pickings, okay? Because most carriers, owner operators, that they get up early, they grab their freight early in the morning. They're looking at freight from 4:30 in the morning until about 6 a.m. and they're calling the brokers as soon as they open up at 7 a.m. and they're booking freight. The majority of the loads are booked before 9 a.m. Okay. That's why I started doing my bookings after 9 a.m. Y'all give me a second. I got a call that's coming in. Hey, Gary. Gary. Y'all hold on for a second. Hey, Gary. I'm in the middle of my load board report. What's up? All right, just give me a call. I'll give you a call once I finish. All right, bye. All right, that was one of my business partners, Mr. Gary Roberts. He runs a dispatching brokerage firm himself, but he said he'd give me a call back later. All right, but as I was saying, you got to learn how to evaluate this freight. Okay, so what we have this morning, we've got some loads on here. I'm gonna show y'all some good paying freight. These short run loads, those are good paying freight. Okay, let's see what we got that's leaving this morning on the 12th, or still available on the 12th. Let's go ahead and put up here our ship date, which is the 12th. Let's do that. Then let's go ahead and search that again. Do our ship date, which is the 12th, and see what we got going on for the 12th here. And we still got our estimated rate per mile. So here's what we got that's leaving today. Loads that are running out today. All right. We got quite a few loads that are running out today. We've got this one going from Elmhurst, Illinois to Chicago, Illinois. That's only 16 miles. It's only 20,000 pounds. Okay, pretty light. $250, which is $15.62. Now, if we click on that, we're gonna see what else is running that comes out. We're gonna do what's called a reverse search, and this is a dry van load. This is the dry van load. It's a very short run. Won't take you any time to run it. Not gonna burn in a few. Let's do a reverse search real quick to see what else is out there that's leaving out. It's gonna be going out. Let's not put going back here. Let's just to see what's going pretty much just anywhere. Come on, get that out of there. And then let's do our search. Leaving out of Chicago, Illinois. All right, let's go and do our estimated rate per mile again. Let's see what we got. All right. So leave it on the same day. So now you can run this load right here. Okay, that's going from Elmhurst to Chicago. It's only 16 miles, paying you $250. Okay, that's a quick $250. You're gonna run over here to Chicago, and then from Chicago, you got stuff that's leaving out again, short runs that's leaving out on the same day that you can make more runs to. You got this here's one right here. You're gonna go 30 miles deadhead. You can go 30 miles deadhead, and you can grab this load from Naperville, Illinois, to Niles, Illinois. Well, I take that back. That is a reefer. You can't run that one. You can run this one though. It picks up in. Yeah, here's one that picks up in Chicago, so it's no deadhead. You're gonna go 37 miles and run it to Juliet, and that is a drive-in or reefer. It can be picked up by a reefer or a drive-in. That's a full load. It's paying $450. It's $12.16 per mile. Now, so you ran 16 miles and you ran what? 32 miles, right? Yeah, 16 miles and 37 miles. So let's pull up that one. All right, so you got two loads that you can run easily. You can easily run both those loads, okay? Easily run both those loads. Let's go ahead and on one, you're making $250. On the other one, you're making $450, and you still got plenty of time to run more freight. You still run pretty much less than 60 miles already. You ran 37 miles, you ran 15 miles. Okay, so let's see what we got. You're gonna do another reverse search, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this out right here, take out that Chicago. You just want to see what's out there, and you're gonna search that again. You're gonna do your other reverse search and see what else you have available that's leaving on today, because you got time enough to run that. So let's go and look for the 12th again. Here we go. On the 12th again, you got another load that's picking up. Is that the same one that we just looked at, the Elmhurst to Chicago? We don't want to look at that one. That's the same one. You got this one, 19-mile deadhead to go to Naperville, and you're gonna run 32 miles to Niles. Well, see, that's a reefer again. You're not gonna grab that one. Let's go find another. Let's look for vans. Hold on. Let me put in my trailer type. Look for vans. Now let's see what we got. Looking for vans. All right, these are all van loads. And we're looking for loads that are leaving on the 12th. Okay. So leaving on the 12th. All right, that's the one that we already got. That's one that we just got that one. We got that one. Let's look for, here we go. Lockport, you're gonna go 9 miles deadhead to pick this load up in Lockport. You're gonna go 36 miles to Morris, Illinois, and that load is paying $8.86 per mile. That's $319. Or if you want, you can grab this load right here from Aurora. You're gonna go 22 miles deadhead to Aurora, and then you go 55 miles to Belvedere, Illinois. That is paying $400. That's $727. And better yet, you can drop down here, and you can go. If you want to go that's too far deadhead to go. It's 101 miles deadhead, so you don't want to do that. You want to keep it short on these runs, because that $850 is going to get eaten up by the deadhead, and then you got to do another 127 miles. So you don't want to do that. I would go the 7 miles to Romerville, and you can grab that one. Let's see what we got down here that's paying. That's not so far, but it's paying some decent money. Here's one right here. Now, this could be the one that you can cap off your day with. Okay, if this was me, this is what I would do. I would grab these other 2 loads that I have up here. Then on my third load, I would grab this load right here. And here's the reason why I would grab this load. This load is going, it's a 30-mile deadhead. It looks like, yep, to South Holland. And then you're going to run 293 miles to St. Louis, Missouri in a van. And that's $1,300. That's a good load to cap off the day with. Why? Because if you cap this off with this load right here, at the end of the day, you got time to run it. You got plenty of time to run it. You got plenty of miles left on your clock, plenty of time on your clock, plenty of miles left because you haven't been ran in the miles. But remember, the average person the average truck driver can drive about 500 miles a day. I mean, this won't even put you anywhere near 500 miles, and you got plenty of time to load and unload and grab all three of these loads. So here's what you got. You would pick up a load in Elmhurst, Illinois this morning, going to Chicago, okay? It's a 16-mile trip. You're gonna make yourself $250. Let's break out our calculator here. You're gonna make yourself $250. You're not gonna burn any fuel because you ain't really going nowhere. All right. Then you're gonna, when you get to Chicago, you're going to pick up right there in Chicago. So there's no deadhead miles. And you're gonna run to Juliet, okay, which is going to be 37 trip miles. Just 37 trip miles, okay? And that's gonna pay you $450. So you got that plus the $450. So now you're sitting on $700. You got plenty enough time to go, and you're gonna go to where we're going to South Holland, which I do believe was 30 miles deadhead. That South Holland run is a 30-mile deadhead, and you're gonna go to St. Louis, which is gonna be a 293 trip miles. Okay, all this can be ran in the same day, and you're still good. And you're gonna tack on, and you're gonna top it off with $1,300. So you got a $2,000 day. You ran three loads, okay, plenty enough time to run them, cap off your day, and you had a $2,000 day by running short run loads, okay? And you didn't burn in the fuel. You didn't burn in the fuel. And you went to striking distance to go grab something the next day, right? Because you're gonna shut down after you run this load. Then you're gonna grab something the next day and see what you can grab the next day and start your day all over again. Now, what I would do with the next day, I would look at my next day and I would start trying to go back the other way. Okay. I would look for, take that out right there. Let's go ahead and do my van, since we're still a van. And we're going to do limit on the 13th. So now we're looking at the 13th. Okay. Then we do that search. And then I would see what's taking me back towards the Chicago and that type of area, this and that. Estimated rate per mile. Let's do that real quick. So now you're working on your next day because you set yourself up for a $2,000 day. So now you're working your way back. You're working your way for more money the next day. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you're going to do. And already you got plenty enough freight here that's leaving on the 13th. That right close to where you are, where you shut down last night or tonight. You're looking at 28-mile deadhead, 16-mile deadhead, 14-mile deadhead. You got great stuff that's in striking distance that's going to take you places where you're going to make some good money. Okay, where you're going to make some good money. Why? Because over here you got the estimated rate per mile. Not fantastic, but they're still decent for a drive van. $3, almost $4 per mile, still decent for a drive in, allow you to get back to where you started from and make more money. Okay, you can go here. That's $760, and that's only 210-mile run, 273 run, things of that nature. So you got some stuff where you can make some money coming up on both days, and that's how you're going to set yourself up to make money. If you can average what we just showed you here each day, $2,000, $2,200 a day. So if you are analyzing your freight and you're picking those loads, that's going to give you the $2,000 if you're running those short loads. And you can average about that, and you're doing that 5 days a week, that's going to give you $10,000, for driving. And you're not burning much fuel. So for the whole week and running short runs like that, you're probably going to burn less than $1,500. You're probably going to burn less than $1,000 in fuel. If you're running those short runs like that, you might wind up spending about $1,500 in fuel. So what you're going to be looking at is that minus $1,500 tops, on your fuel because you're running those short runs. You're going to have a week where you're going to walk away with $8,500. Now, if you can consistently do that, over the course of a year, you're looking at $442,000 in a dry base. Okay, this is how you apply the knowledge to analyzing freight. Okay, there's a lot more to just grabbing good loads, going to load boards, grabbing good paying loads. You got to know how to analyze your freight. You got to know what loads are what loads are good loads because of the parameters of what the load is. Okay, you got to know what the area, how it's going to affect your fuel consumption. If you're in mountainous areas, if you're in flat areas, in windy areas, and stuff like this. If you're in the wintertime, you're you're up in areas where there's ice and snow. All these things come in. You gotta know how these things are going to affect you. You gotta know how, heavy weight is going to affect your fuel consumption, because fuel consumption is a big drain on your take-home money. Remember that. A lot of carriers tend to forget that they have to calculate their fuel consumption. Because if you're just looking at just the load fee, you say, oh, that's a good paying load. If you're just looking at right here, just the pay rate, let me show you what I'm talking about. If you're looking at just the pay rate, you may say, oh, that's a good paying freight. But that's not no good paying freight if you got to go 845 miles and you're only making $2,024.50, right? And the weight is 41,000 pounds. You see what I'm saying? That's not necessarily the best paying load. It's not necessarily the best paying load. You can look over here on some of this other stuff you see here. Like you see here, if you're looking at the pay rate, and you'll see a high rate, but is that going to be a good paying load? Like this one right here, $4,500. That's the highest rate on there. But look at this though. You got to go 2,142 miles. And if you're leaving from this destination, you got to go 116 miles deadhead. So that's definitely not a good paying load. That's going to put you over 2,300, almost 2,400 miles for just $4,500. You're going to spend almost $2,000. You're going to spend about half your money on fuel. And it's going to take you all week to run that load. So you're going to run all week for what, $2,000? I don't think so. No, that's not a good paying load. That's why you got to go and look at the estimated rate per mile. Always look at the estimated rate per mile. So if you do that, you get the high rate per mile count, right? You probably get low trip miles, as you see here. You're looking at low trip miles, which means less fuel consumption, and you can run more of those in the course of a day. That's how you make money. Okay? That's how you make money. All right. We're going to check in real quick here. All right. This is gonna be a quick day today because we don't seem to have people who are looking for freight this morning. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of cut the load board off this morning, which we're about an hour anyway. It's 9:53. We got started about 15 minutes late, but I think y'all got the gist of the load board report this morning, which is learn how to analyze your freight. Okay, learn how to analyze freight. Learn what to do. What loads are good loads and what loads are not good loads. Okay. All right. I want to thank you all for joining me again for the Load Board Report. This has been Calvin with the RBBS and Just None and the National Dispatch Network. And I will see you all back here tomorrow morning between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. for the load report. Remember, if you need a load, give me a call up, 866-973-6445. Do the local report. I'll find you freight and give it away to you for free. We've got some changes going on with the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers. We are partnering with a up-and-coming brokerage firm. So my company, RBBS Transport, and Darren Stevens' company, DGR Logistics, we are in a partnership where we are going to be partnering with this with a new brokerage firm, and we are going to be in charge of setting up their business structure. And we're going to be hiring. We're going to be hiring, and we're going to be contracting out work from that brokerage firm for those of you who want to work as broker agents and make some great money. There's going to be 2 positions that we're going to be hiring for. The position that we're going to be hiring for is account executive. Those people are going to be contacting shippers to get that brokerage firm signed up with shippers to get that freight over to that brokerage firm. The other position that we're hiring for is going to be booking agents. Those individuals are going to be contacting owner operators and carrier groups and getting them signed up with the broker carrier agreement so that we can have trucks and carriers to run the freight that the account executive are solidifying and securing from the shippers. So we're gonna have 2 positions that are gonna be available within this brokerage firm, and we're gonna make some good money. So y'all will hear more about that probably in the coming weeks. We should have that deal struck and everything in place within the next 2 weeks. And so we are teaming up or partnering with this firm in order to bring more freight, more in-house freight, because they are a brokerage firm. So we will have in-house freight to go along with our load board acquisitions of freight that we get from the load board. So that's always a good thing. All right. Y'all have a great day, profitable day. This has been Calvin with the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers and the National Dispatchers Network, and signing off from the Load Board Report. I'll see you all on tomorrow morning for tomorrow's Load Board Report. Bye, everybody.